Good morning. It is day 22. Yesterday we just did 5-ish miles out of Warner Springs. We're at a water source. We had a lovely evening, that too, but lovely evening chatting with some other thru hikers here. And we're on our way to Mike's place. It's 12 miles away, so we're probably not going to do that today with the elevation, but I'm hoping to get about 8, which will be really short mileage in a Mike's place, but given the notable elevation and likeliness for sun and heat today, if we get 8, get to a good camp space, and even just do like 4 or 5 into Mike's place for the night, and then go do a bigger day after that or something. Again, we're not in a hurry, and I have to keep reminding myself that. But had a really good night's sleep, so I'm going to put that to use today. But I'm going to jump to it because I really want to get out of here while it's still pretty cool. So, see you later.
Hey again. So we're just a little bit out of camp, not far. We did get a really good night's sleep, even though it took a little bit to get there. So that's nice. It did mean we got up about 6:30, but then we took we didn't get out of camp till about 9, maybe a couple minutes before it, which, even though it's going to be cooler today with some elevation, I'm just hoping for a lot of shade. It's just standing in the sun long enough to finish packing up kind of made me feel not very good. So I'm just hoping for cooler temperatures and some good shade today. So we are going a bit of elevation. It's 1,200 feet over the first 5 miles, and then we keep going from there. I think we have about 2,000 feet of gain today, I'm not sure. Which back home on a day hike, that's nothing, but you add a 35 pound pack and sun exposure and it becomes a different thing. So it's still not too bad. I go and walk up a steep hill without my bag at the end of the night, even after a day hiking, and it just feels so easy that my fitness is so changed just by these few weeks. So not feeling too bad, just hoping to stay out of the sun. Just thought I'd say hi as we went along. We go along a creek and we pass it a few times, like cross over it, which does mean it's nice and cool, plenty of water. Also means that we do have poison oak around here. I think we're at like mile 114 or something like that. I can't quite recall, but it is a nice area. And lizards. This kind's been letting us get really close. So, I'm gonna take a sip and keep moving. And try to get some miles in before it gets hot. Yeah.
I can't believe we're out here, dude. Like, really. We actually made it happen. I don't know, you interrupted me.
I believe it started. I can't believe we're out here.
Yeah.
That's how it started. What was supposed to follow?
I don't know. I don't know. It's just, we've been dreaming about this forever. It's fucking so weird that we actually managed to get out here. We are physically hiking the PCT right now.
I'm hovering.
Huh?
I'm hovering, you're hiking.
Oh, okay. No, we're like 3 weeks out here and I still can't believe it.
We're gonna Oregon and you're gonna be like, what?
Probably.
I know I am.
I don't know, it was just such a big ass dream. And it just seemed massively impossible. And yet, we're past Warner Springs and
We're headed for
I'm
Paradise
actually
Valley
hiking north
Cafe,
right
man.
now. Huh?
We're headed for Paradise Valley Cafe.
Yep.
So yeah. The whole thing's crazy. As you can see, we're continuing to not believe we're actually through hikers and through hiking. It's weird. Utterly gorgeous out here, by the way. We're going across over and over this creek, which I forget the name. Aqua something, I don't know. But it's been nice because we've had really good tree cover, a good breeze, which I've missed. And it's just that mix between wildflowers, cactus, and poison oak, and oak trees and stuff like that. It's been gorgeous. Gorgeous. Galway. But, yeah, we're just chatting as we do. We spend a lot of time actually just talking out here. But I was just saying, I'm already excited for the next adventure, and we keep thinking back to a lot of our favorites at home, especially when we run across areas that look like them, like along the water. It really looked like Silver Falls State Park. Down near Salem, Oregon. I say down because obviously we're in Portland and south is apparently down. So, you know, there's that. But just really excited for different perspective on stuff we've done, as well as being able to just see how much more fit we are, and just because we miss those areas. Not that we're upset with our current situation, but it's just gonna be nice to see those again. And I'm dying for next year where it's gonna be, we'll go do something else awesome, just not quite as long, since we'll have to, you know, pay off debts and raise money and a whole bunch of stuff like that. But I'm already kind of planning out in a fashion some big adventures. Like, I think if we have to skip any sections due to fire or snow or whatever, if we can next year, we want to come back and do those. Make sure we wrap up anything from this year. And I think some national park should get a week of our time. Otherwise, I'm kind of thinking our next big adventure is likely to be the Tour du Mont Blanc, which is 110 or so miles, 112, through France, Italy, and Switzerland around the Mont Blanc Massif. It's really the trail that got me into the notion of going, this is something I want to do. And because of the expense, we decided to wait to do it until after the PCT. Now that we have all the gear, I mean, a lot will have to be replaced, but I think that's really what I'm hungering for next, is something big. So, really looking forward to that. And then, I don't know, I'm honestly dying for a Mount Fuji summit with some time in Tokyo, and if we could, Okinawa, traveling a little bit of Japan. But besides the TMB, finishing the PCT, and some manner of national parks, don't know what's next. So, just remarking on all this today, because I banter, as you've probably noticed. This is day 22, you should have noticed by now. If you haven't, you've probably been watching on mute. That's fair. So, I'm gonna keep walking. See you in a bit. I don't know how many more views we're gonna get of those meadows, but it's where we came from to come from, Warner Springs. It's been having rolling hills and coming out of the tree cover, but beautifully getting some wind, which is what I need. If I stay cool, I'm good. If I get overheated, that's the hardest thing for me. And So while there's sun, it's not too bad. Still sweating pretty bad, but taking electrolytes, getting some wind, staying happy. So those hills were way above us this morning. And now it only looks like it's 100 feet, maybe 200 feet above us. There's more up to go. Feeling decent. I really kind of feel like my energy's been, I don't know, kind of all over the place. I feel like it's been a while since I felt like I could just momentum through a day. But I think some of that's because I'm intentionally lowering my pace just to make sure I'm not going heavier than I need to be. Sorry, adjusting so Chelsea can fix my umbrella. But yeah, not feeling too bad. We're 10 miles from Mike's place, and I'd love to do that tonight, and I am sure that's going to be too much for us at this point in the day. But we're going something between 5 and 7 still, I think, but we'll see. It'll be a light day into Mike's place if we don't do it tonight, which again, I don't think we will. But looking forward to pizza and a little bit more flatness. So we've gotten to a tent site that is, as someone has said, is a bit of an oasis for us. Under a manzanita tree, and to extend our shade, our beautiful sunbrellas. Definitely a bit tired getting up those hills. Today we'll have I think 2,000 feet of elevation gain or something like that. So it's noticeable. And we're considering pushing all the way to Mike's, but that is another 7.7 miles, and I don't know if I have it in me, but I'd like to try. I'm gonna take a good break, get some food, airing at our feet, cooling down. It's definitely cooler today than it has been the last couple days, which is very, very enjoyed and needed. It's been, I'm not gonna say a hard day, but physically it's been harder because, well, we've been going downhill or fairly flat, and we had a couple zeros, so it's been a few days since we've had this, so it's a bit tiring. And any night that we have a really good night's sleep, which I did, I am kind of tired. Like my body's like, oh, it's rest time. We're recovering, so let's just keep you in that mode. So it's pretty tiring, but doing decent. Just really needed a break, and we've only done about 5 miles, but it's just, yeah, kind of said it all before. Not doing too bad now though. Just gonna work on getting some food. Very hungry, very excited as well to pull it out. Part of my meal today is a keto brick, which is 150 grams, and it's 1,000 calories, and it's almost entirely fat, a little bit of protein. It's all made out of really high quality ingredients, and so it's just, and they taste quite decent. So looking forward to that in a couple minutes. Just was gathering enough energy to eat. But on the other side of it, it's been a little bit of a hard morning to start with. Is one of the things that get to me most is when I'm trying to do something and I feel like things keep coming up and obstructing it, whether it's you're trying to read a book and people keep talking to you or something similar. And well, again, we kind of can't go too slow right now because we may not be able to get into the Sierras until mid-July at the moment is what it's looking like. Yeah, there's snow right after Paradise Valley, and so either way, but it's, sometimes just the emotional brain doesn't care about the logical brain, and I've just kind of felt like that, something's obstructing me. like between just slow days, and we were gonna get out of Warner Springs a day earlier and just do a few miles out of camp, and by the time we were about to, it was just, well, as it is, we were going to take a singles here and we took a double because there was just too much to do. And then that second day we were going to go a few miles out, and they had delicious burgers that they were offering, and so we stayed for that. And by the time we were ready to go, it was late, and it was like past 6, and we still had a few minutes of packing up, so we just said screw it. And then we took a short day out, which again was what I wanted, but it just, the distance between Warner Springs and Paradise Valley Cafe is just kind of getting extended out, and so I've just emotionally been feeling like something's just getting in the way, and it's just been kind of driving me nuts. And so I just had to take some time not being grumpy this morning, and especially because if we don't get all the way to Mike's place tonight, which would be our longest day yet at like 12 point something miles plus a decent amount of elevation, it would mean that if we either kind of skips Mike's place, which we don't want to do because it's part of the experience, the pizza, like homemade brick fire pizza, but it would mean that if we only go part of the way today, it means tomorrow is going to be another short day, which is just extends that distance and makes me kind of wonder about my food. Like, it should be fine, but either way, just emotionally, I just have had to keep myself from being a bit grumpy and taciturn today, which I'm feeling fine now. I've been too tired to be grumpy, and so we're just going to see if we can push ahead. We'll see. I don't know what we'll be up to. It's just going to be, I think we're in a place that we're gonna push. It's just seeing what our bodies are willing to be pushed to. On the more optimistic side, though, some of kind of my thoughts today is in a related topic. The last several years, it's kind of felt like we've been in this stagnation situation, like there has been something holding us back. And it's just because we've barely taken vacations or trips or anything like that, because we've been saving money for this trip, and our hiking seasons, the fires and other issues like that, we've done almost none of what we wanted to do the last several years, including goals that we were expecting to meet. And so it's been a hard few years. We've both gotten used to it, but it's felt stagnant, especially since the PCT has felt like an eventual pipe dream, really, but we're here. And so it's really helping change perspective, going, when we get back, we have financial demands. I need to invest some time and money in my business, get it back, started again, and, dealing with any expenses because of this trip. But now that we won't have something huge to save for in the same kind of way, and as my business is doing better than it has been doing for years, and hopefully it'll return to some degree of that, which it should, it just, it's really, how to put, not quite confidence building, not quite optimistic, but I'm excited for when we get back, because I've been wanting to build up a certain lifestyle that's more sustainable and healthy and just fulfilling, and I think we're going to be in a really good place to do that, as well as we have a lot of smaller trips that aren't going to take 6-7 months, and so they'll be much easier to do. So coming back and doing any missed sections of the PCT, or I have a friend that lives in Hawaii, and I'd love to go stay with him for a week, just to see him and his world, as well as get to go and do cycling around the island, hikes and kayaking and scuba diving and stuff like that. And other trips, national parks, international trips, the TMB stuff that are still substantial trips, but because they're not 6 months, it's we'll be able to start doing that stuff and kind of feel like we're living a little bit more instead of living for the future, which is fine here and there, but it's been between school and saving up for the PCT, it's been a very stagnant feeling 5 years, and so I'm really glad to be actually doing the thing we've been planning for and dreaming for, and then just be able to use it as a kicking off point to do a lot more after that, both because we've had had our brains changed by putting effort into something and actually doing it, making it happen, putting out that effort and dealing with the discomfort and difficulty, as well as just that we're going to have better health and fitness, as well as my business has just been doing better and better, especially as from December through when we left this year, my abilities as a practitioner have multiplied, and and so what I'm able to do for people is really changed. And so we just have a much better chance of getting back and kind of hitting the ground running, so to speak. But that's long enough. I'm going to enjoy my delicious, filling keto brick and go get us some water in a couple minutes. And just maybe I'll take a nap afterwards. Get plenty of food in me and see if we can do Mike's place tonight. We'll see. That's a lot of mileage, especially because there's a lot of elevation. If we were flat and 7.7, I think we'd be able to do that now, but still another 1,000 feet to go tonight, so we'll see. But I'll check in a bit. Not all water sources on the PCT are especially nice. This has probably been the worst one so far, with really still water, dead bugs, a little bit of movement, but there's some signs letting you know, definitely filter and do what you gotta. Lost Valley Spring. That said, it's been the first water in several miles, and we won't have more for another 8, so filter. So we've come up a wee way as we were below that road. I mean, really, down in those fields. Really do kind of love the palpable, you can see where you came from, and you came from down there. Now to go up somewhere that way. Up. Yet again, another kind of terrain. I've hit the golden hour and just went around a corner, but the views are pretty awesome. Giant open valley. Wondering if we're going to head that way at all. I don't think so, but either way. The first tent site was full, at least full without knowing the other person. We could have snuggled up alongside if we'd known the person. But they're already in their tent. So, got another one shortly. If that's full, we have more close options. It's actually the first time we've come to a tent site that we were going to use and have it be full. It's going to be interesting as the April bubble comes up on us, especially given the self-imposed speed restriction. Probably going to get pretty busy. We saw some of the early April starting pictures of everyone at the monument, and it's just more people in one picture than started in our whole day, so it's going to get interesting. But let's go find that tent site. I'll check with you guys in just a few minutes. Just an amazing thing to be out here doing this. No doubt or reservations about this, especially because I'm close to camp.